Hello everyone and welcome to FVRA Season 7 competition here for the Spanish Grand Prix in Barcelona, Catalonia. We see right now that is Bourboon in the Red Bull right now, the reserve driver. He will be the first driver to set laps down on the track so far. Going purple in Sector 1, obviously, the Mercedes behind him. Both on out laps, however. It's a privilege to be a part of this season. Sadly, we couldn't have commentary last week due to some technical difficulties, but we are here this week, however. Hopefully for some exciting racing, and Bourboon's around in Sector 2. Not what you want to see right there. A very slick corner uphill in the right-hander of turn 9. There comes the Williams driver. That is Cook. Williams. Second driver on a flying lap. Going through the technical Sector 3. Through 14 and 15, now into 16 to set the first lap. That being a 119.311. So we'll see what happens behind him. As it gets broken already by Brendan White, setting a 118.102. And Bourboon setting the 145.700. But the McLaren, wow. I believe that is one of our reserve drivers, Lewis McWilliam, going fastest with a 117.057. Quickest on the board. Then you have Chloe Glennon going third with a 118.818. Jake Marsh setting a 130.928. And the Alpine driver. That is Daniel Flynn setting a 118.940. Both the McLarens are 1-2. I just realized that. That is Evan Dalton going second fastest. 8/10 off, or almost 9/10 off with a 117.896. So obviously, Lewis McWilliam has got the pace to beat so far today. Sure, here we go. I'm not quite sure who this is. Well, the second Mercedes driver goes 6th fastest. They are not on my driver's sheet, so I'm quite confused as to what their name is. But looking through the field, we've got Ferrari, that is Chloe Glennon going back in, but Jake Marsh will continue his lap, improving to second with a 117.410. That's a quick lap right there. I'm not sure which for Red Bull driver. Oh, that's an Alfa Romeo around. Leroy Van Schendel around, and I believe, yeah, that is turn 3 going into 4. Such a weird corner going uphill because if you catch that curve, it just sends you around. Got 2 cars going into the pits right there. That's a McLaren Mayo. We have the Aston Martin. This is either 2 people participating that I have no idea who they are. So I'd like to get some word on that. Maybe that's been put in the chat. Thank you to everyone tuning in for qualifying so far. I'm not sure how much time we have left because it is not telling me. Oh no, there it is. Okay, 11 minutes left. We've got a Haas coming through the last few corners here. To start their lap. That is another driver not listed on the This isn't good. We'll go fastest in Sector 1. Both the Red Bulls going out at the same time, and commentator's curse because the Haas goes around on the exit of turn 4. Not what you want to see. Here comes the McLaren and Alfa Romeo. And then also two more with the Mercedes, and Alfa Romeo is going to pull right out on track. Hopefully that doesn't affect the Mercedes. And the other Mercedes goes around in turn 13 to 14 in the little straight, separating the two corners. Very peculiar. Let's see. Alright, we'll go on board with somebody. Who should we go on board with for qualifying? Let's find out. Is that Ben Schendel is going into the garage. We'll watch Vesicobati as he goes second quickest with a 1:17.190. Very quick lap, closing in on that pole time. So we'll see what happens here. Vesicobati now gets the lap time taken, or not the lap time taken away, but gets the lap time invalidated for this go around. So let's see. There's an Alfa Romeo. That is Aaron McFall. Let's see what Eric McFall can do. Go on board. Very quick through the technical 7-8, uphill through 9, down the second DRS straight, down into turn number 10, the newly configured corner. This is new to all the drivers this season. Let's see if that does anything to affect the driving. Throws anyone off of it. It's a new braking zone, but through the chicane, 14-15, then through 16, the final corner. Where does Aaron McFall go? He will go fourth quickest with a 1:17.815. Good lap set by the Alfa Romeo driver. As there is just LA traffic, it seems, down the main straight. Led by our provisional pole sitter. I believe that is Jake Marsh behind. I could be wrong. No, that is Jake Marsh. Just goes purple in Sector 1. Let's see what Jake Marsh can do. Sector 2, caution. The yellow sector. Oh my! The Alfa Romeo just getting a little too close for comfort. Through 7 and 8. Up to 9, down the second DRS straight. No purple through Sector 2. Through turns 12, now into 13. Chicane being 14 and 15. Out of 16, down the main straight, crossing the line. Jake Marsh goes fastest with a 1:16.893. Let's see if anyone can beat it. So far, no takers. I believe that's Daniel Flynn coming through. Oh, he's going into the pits. But we'll keep an eye on Brendan White. Let's see what he can do. Down the main straight. Lots of... Oh, what is going on over there? 5-place grid penalty for Chloe Glennon. I'm assuming oh yeah, contact with the Williams driver. Could be McCook. Wow. That is not something you see regularly. I'm not sure what happened. Taking the access road As we were saying with Brendan White, though, there's a lot of just stopped cars in the final few corners. Don't think he'll get there in time for that, but oh, he is. Not sure with the light flashing. Is he not using any ERS deployment? And Chloe Glennon out of the session. Did she hit the pit wall? Not quite sure about that. Nevertheless, Brendan White, let's see. I don't think this is a push lap, however. Yeah, it is not. It is an end lap. Okay, I feel like I just pointlessly wasted time watching that. We watched Leroy Van Schendel. I believe that is an end lap. Let's see. Lewis is going to go for another hot lap, see if he can beat Jake Marsh's time. Oh, wow! Avesta Gobati setting a 1:16.721. Mercedes driver on top now, with 4 minutes remaining in the session. Let's see. Avesta Gobati sitting on the provisional pole. First place grid slot, and there's a... Anyways, Lewis in the McLaren, flying down the main straight down into turn 1. Up through 3 now. Coming to a close to the first sector. Wanting that provisional pole slot back. Does not go purple through sector 1. Down through turn 5. Down to 6 and up through 7 and 8 here momentarily. Let's go back into the garage. Wondering if that will be for the remainder of the session. Let's see, Lewis through the last sector. Now entering turn 13. Could this put him back on top? No, he hits the curb and he's in the kitty litter. Oh no. And that is a lap that he'll want to forget. The Alpine driver, Daniel Flynn, starting his hot lap. As there's something going on in the final sector, not sure, that is Bourboon. That was stopped. We've got an Aston Martin round, the only driver to not set a time so far. Around in turn 3, or not turn 3, but turn 2 in the runoff. So that's going to be a lap that probably won't get set unless they just set a lap without the front wing, but that is probably not the best decision if you want to go somewhere with that. See, most of the field is back out on track, so let's see what happens. Jake Marsh wanting that pole time back, so we can see what happens there. Avesta Gobati is probably going to sit this one out because I don't think there will be enough time to go back out on track, set another lap. So it's all down to everyone else to see if they can beat it. So obviously Avesta either doesn't want to use another set of softs, or is confident that that lap won't get beat, the 1:16.721. So we can see what happens, starting with Jake Marsh, not far off the time. Daniel Flynn went up to 5th in the meantime with a 1:17.628. Every step behind, here comes Jake Marsh, down the main straight to start his time. Aston Martin in pursuit, or not Aston Martin, Alfa Romeo. My apologies. Aaron McFall not too far behind, and Eric McFall is retired the car in turn 1. Not quite sure what happened there. Jake Marsh, purple through sector 1, however. Let's see what he can do. Down into turn number 5. Through 6 now, and up into 7 and 8. Let's see what happens here. Through 9, up to the second DRS straight. Does he go purple in sector 2? He does! This may be the pole lap that every driver on track has to beat. Through 12. Back down into 13. And through 14 and 15, the chicane. The one that's ended laps already. Through 16 now. Back down the main straight to the line. Jake Marsh will go to the pole at the top of the board with a 1:16.674. The time to beat now. Next driver around is Bourboon, who will not be able to set a lap as it is invalidated. That leaves one more driver. That is Lewis, the McLaren. Oh, he's purple in sector 2. Wait, is that... Oh, wait. There's a Mercedes. I believe... I'm not sure why they're going so slow. But let's see what happens with Lewis and the McLaren. Through 14 and 15, back into 16 to go down the main straight to set a lap. Does he go to pole? No, he's around! The McLaren driver around in the final corner after going purple in sector 2. You cannot make this up. Just one small driver error can lead to that. Oh no. And a 5-place grid penalty for a collision with the Red Bull AI. Oh no. That is how qualifying comes to an abrupt and sad ending for the McLaren driver, but nonetheless Jake Marsh coming out on top with the first place grid slot. Only 47 hundredths quicker than Avesta Batty, joining him on the front row. However, row 2 will be the Alfa Romeo driver and the McLaren. That's Eric McFall and Evan Dalton with row 2. Daniel Flynn and Brendan White will be in row 3. Is that grid position is going to give me a hard time, so we'll go over the starting grid when we go through the formation lap. A close qualifying session here in Spain, but let's see what's up next. As the grid sets up for the formation lap here for the Spanish Grand Prix, to anyone new tuning in, this is FVRA competition for Season 7, this round 2 for the Spanish Grand Prix in the Circuit de Barcelona, Catalunya. I'm Jake Scarborough. Thank you for joining me on this. It is a privilege to be here. After an intense qualifying session, Jake Marsh on the top spot with the Vestigo Body in second, and Eric McFall in third, Evan Dalton fourth, Daniel Flynn in fifth, and then you have Brennan White in sixth, Leroy Vincendo in seventh, Lewis and McLaren. I'm not sure what his last name is. Same with Sam and Haas. Not sure about last names there, but Warboon rounds out the points-paying positions in 10th. Not sure what the second Mercedes driver is, so we're just going to have to call him Disco Mark for the race by his user, sadly, as there's something weird going on up here. Nonetheless, behind Habib McCook in 12th in the Williams. Then the Aston Martin driver still have yet to get a name on that, but the baby F1 is 13th, and Chloe Glennon in the Ferrari will start in the last place starting spot. Nonetheless, Ferrari at the top and the back of the grid, so let's see what happens here. Jake Marsh through the final corner as Vestigo Badi backs it up before the final corner out of the chicane, just to probably get fresher tires than the Ferrari driver starting to their left side. So let's see what happens here. The Spanish Grand Prix. Lots of stacking up going behind. Everyone's getting their tires warmed up for what is about to be an amazing race ahead of us. What better could you ask for? Here we go, the lights. All 5 red, and a bunch of drive-thrus, and lights are out, and away we go for the Spanish Grand Prix. 4 drivers with a drive-thru penalty for a jump start. What a turn of events. Aaron McFall, Vestigo Badi, Evan Dalton, and Leroy Vincendo all with drive-thrus, but the entire top 3 has them. Sam and the Haas is in 4th, Jake Marsh in 5th, falling back after that. Probably wasn't expecting all the jump starts. Warboon is up there, and oh no, Jake Marsh around! And resets back to track. Wow, both the Ferraris, what a way for their race to start. But we've got a Haas, who is technically the provisional leader, as everyone ahead has to serve the drive-thru penalty. So let's see, what can Warboon do? Is he going to sit back and watch? Probably the best move is just to sit back, let everything unfold. An intense start. Jake Marsh still far behind the rest of the pack. Let's see what happens to the top 3. Do they all serve their drive-thru right now? Vestigo Badi will probably be the one to lead that charge. And let's see. He does not. Aaron McFall does not either, but Evan Dalton will serve it now. That is insane. They've got to serve that in the next 2 laps. The Sam sets the fastest lap of the session with a 1:26.798 on the medium compound. I don't know what we're witnessing right now, but Warboon, he's going to take the opportunity. He's going to try passing the Haas driver. Through to the end of Sector 1. Trying to get him down into turn 4, maybe. Daniel Flynn looking for a move onto the inside. Not going to work, however. Wasn't close enough to make the move. We've still got some stuff going on in the middle of the pack. And there's a car around. That is Evan Dalton. Oh no, losing another position. Not what you want to see. These guys, Leroy Vincendo also joining him with the drive-thru penalty. Jake Marsh, I'm sure, pit during all that. He is far behind now. Vestigo Badi's going purple in Sector 1. Through turns 12. Now back down into 13. An interesting start to the Spanish Grand Prix. But still not sure. Is Vestigo Badi going to serve it? Yes, he will. Going down into the pits to serve the drive-thru, but Aaron McFall will not. I think he has to this lap, or it will disqualify him. Fastest lap of the session now, Lewis in the McLaren. As they all drive down into turn 1. It's interesting to see. I'm guessing Aaron McFall's trying to pull out as much of a gap as he can before serving the drive-through. There's got to be a strategy play into this. Not sure if it will pay off, however, as we have a yellow through Sector 1. Not sure what's going on back there because we have no one around. Just a lot of close cars, especially with the top 3. Here we go. Lewis has carved his way through. Let's see. Can he make it up to the provisional lead? To the inside. He'll pass the Haas. And the Haas will file in right behind. Lewis will now lead this pack. But back down into turn number 10, the Haas to the inside. And he's half spun it. He keeps it back going, but will fall back into the 5th position by a technicality. Oh, and that's the Aston Martin around. The baby's around. Not much you can do there. Another car around. That's Bourboon. He's around. Everyone's looping it. Oh, no. Habib McCook is also around. A bunch of these guys looping it early on. Is Aaron McFall now serving the drive-through penalty? That's Daniel Flynn now there. Sam going to go to the inside down into turn number 1. Looks like Habib McCook is still having a hard time getting the car back under control. Evan Dalton going fastest with a 121.635. Oh, disqualified from the session. Oh no! He beached it. Oh no! What a terrible spot to spin. Oh no! You hate to see that. Habib McCook out of the race due to disqualification, unable to move the car after being stuck in a dangerous area on track. He's getting beached on a curb. That's the first time I've seen that so far. But look at this train down the DRS straight. Daniel Flynn, may take advantage of that, but the Mercedes almost half spinning it right there. Chloe Glennon now into the top 5 because of that, and Brendan White also taking advantage, going up to 4th. It's only lap 4 out of 33 of the Spanish Grand Prix, and this is already intense. Seeing what can happen, Lewis goes fastest with a 121.365 on the hard compound, pulling away from the rest of the field. That is insane. Avestico Body with a 121.058. There. Sam's going to try getting back around Daniel Flynn, probably. These medium tires seem to be falling away. We know Catalunya is a track that just eats the tires away. It's like putting tires against a cheese grater. It's not going to last. This is all this track is. The heat, everything. So it's going to be interesting to see what the strategies are, especially for the drivers that served a drive-through penalty. Jake Marsh, the pole sitter, starting 13th, is in 13th because of that lap 1 spin. And in the midst of all this, Daniel Flynn is driving away, but Brendan White's going to try passing the Haas driver on the outside, gets shoved a little wide, it looks like, and the Mercedes driver almost spinning it there again. Not sure if there's a slick spot that they are hitting, but Chloe Glennon's going to try making the move for 5th. He's going to get there, a little hop on the curb, a little contact into the chicane. More contact. That's not what you want to see in these Formula 1 cars. They are so fragile, but Avesta Gobati in the midst of all this gets around the Ferrari driver. Maybe that could help out. Mercedes teamwork, I guess, against the Ferrari driver. See what happens. You see the red light flashing on the back of the first Mercedes of Disco Mark. Meaning that they are close to out of DRS deployment, or ERS deployment, should I say. My bad. But the battle for 3rd now heating up. Sam, Brendan, let's see what they can do. As they back off through this area of Sector 2, the earlier stages, probably saving it up for the DRS straight, just ahead out of turn number 9. The Mercedes are on the hunt now. looks like they may be getting around the Haas driver earlier than expected. The dive, the send of Estegobati, moving the Haas into the kitty litter, and will fall back behind Chloe and giving up the position, knowing that was driver error. That's sportsmanship you like to see. Acknowledging the mistake, giving up the position, but Disco Mark's around before the chicane, and there's another car around. That's Daniel Flynn. Oh my! Not what you want to see here. It's Chloe Glennon now in the podium spot. Estegobati's going to go around the inside, make a clear pass before turn 1 on the Haas driver. Daniel Flynn not far behind, didn't lose that much time on the group ahead. So let's see what happens. And Aaron McFall, as well as Disco Mark, both around. Once again, this track on those tires. Oh, okay, the Aston Martin, the baby, he's out of the race, retiring it in the garage. Not sure what's going on there. We'll continue to watch this battle unfold for the podium spot. Let's see if Estegobati thinks about it, but didn't make the move quite yet. See, they're closing in on the Red Bull driver of Brendan White. Maybe that's what they're waiting for, closing that gap as much as possible, but Estegobati goes around on the curb on the outside, just by barely going over into the paint. Paying for just a simple mistake like that, that's something you hate to see. But Chloe Glennon driving away now, trying to get closer to Brendan White in the Red Bull for second. However, you should see pit cycles start to begin here shortly. I'm not quite sure how long the mediums will last, but I can't really predict the last too long. So there may be a battle here for 8th with Leroy Van Schendel and Evan Dalton. Evan Dalton possibly having to defend here in the upcoming corners. But we do have something going on here for 4th. I'm assuming they're trying to catch up to Chloe Glennon. Down the DRS straight. Still not close enough. Jake Marsh with the fastest lap with a 1:20.723. Although he's in 12th, he will not receive the fastest lap point unless he finishes in the points paying positions 1 through 10. So right now, that's just something to say. I should be up there. Nevertheless, so got amazing battles. Trying to get back up to the podium spot, but Daniel Flynn's tired of waiting. He's going to go around the Haas driver. Clean pass before turn 1 by a mile, it seems. He closes the gap on Chloe Glennon more and more. He's probably realizing he's got the pace that the Haas doesn't, because it seems like the Haas having a hard time getting through turn 3. Always seeming to go out wide there. So if Estegobati gets around in that time span, and in the midst of all this, Daniel Flynn is within a second of Chloe Glennon. So he will be getting DRS if he can hold on to it through 7 and 8, which he does. He keeps it within a second, even closing in more time. Let's see, he's using up all that ERS deployment, as you see with the flashing light on the rear end of the car. Obviously not close enough to make an overtake. They can only do so much. As we've got almost 3 wide situation back here. That's Evan Dalton, Leroy Van Schendel, and Borboon all battling for the 8th spot. This is, or not 8th, 7th. Not sure how they caught Borboon that quickly. They'll come through turn 16. Evan Dalton walking away with it. Let's see if Leroy Van Schendel or possibly Borboon can get up to him before turn 1. I don't think they will, however, too far back, as you see Disco Mark in the background right there. 10th place points position, possibly wanting to get more after those earlier mistakes. Avesta gets around Daniel Flynn for 4th as they start to close in on Chloe Glennon just even more, leaving the Haas in the dust, so something's got to be wrong with the Haas driver. Possibly damage, who knows. Aaron McFall, however, goes fastest with a 1:20.468. Very quick lap time. Both the drivers who have gotten fastest lap, both out of the points paying positions, so they will not receive that point as of right now. No moves can be made right there for P3 or even P4. Let's see what's going on in the back. Leroy Van Schendel still not close enough to Evan Dalton to even think about a move. And Lewis goes fastest with a 1:20.441, and I believe that's Jake Marsh around in turn 3. It was. Oh no. The Ferrari driver's day could not get any worse. Well, his teammate Chloe Glennon, having to defend for 3rd, is not going to be able to with the Vesticobati right there. Vesticobati with a beautiful send down into turn 1, and will get the pass made, putting him back on the bottom step of the podium. But Chloe Glennon may have time to react down the second DRS straight, and Daniel Flynn may have something to say about it, because as you can see, Vesticobati overusing the ERS with the flashing red light. Looks like the Alpine driver is not using as much. Aaron McFall back with fastest with a 1:20.253. It seems like everyone's wanting to run at the fastest time of the race. Still no stops yet, so it's quite odd. Wasn't really predicting the tires to last this long, and Aaron McFall is out of the race. Turn 3. And that is a safety car. And because of this, Lewis is going to dive on in. Well, this is going to be interesting if you're on the hards. Do you put on the mediums to the end? Can the mediums make it to the end? Not sure, but everyone's probably going to be diving in here for the fresh jet. A safety car here coming to lap 12. Wow. That's a change of events, all right. See what happens. Lewis lining up behind the Aston Martin safety car. That takes that huge lead he had away, but Brendan White in second now, Vesticobati in 3rd. Altering the outcomes. Getting together again. This is something Jake Marsh wanted to see from the second he made that mistake on lap 1. The only driver not with the pack. So, as you see, Brendan White looked very close to the McLaren driver right there. see right now the driver of the day would be Chloe Glennon, more than likely with the most positions gained. Maybe 10, starting in the last grid spot. That would be an amazing day if Chloe Glennon could get onto the podium. Possibly Lewis with the 7 gained spots, leading this race for the most part after all that happened at the start. It's going to be interesting to see Jake Marsh back up here with 10 positions lost. Aaron McFall, who lost 9 and is out of the race. That means 1 driver left in this race will not be receiving points. So now the question is, who will it be? Okay, Disco Mark seems to have lost control of the car under the safety car. So luckily that doesn't harm him too much. It's still one of the last things you want to see, but the safety car in this time, you see everyone swerving, trying to get those tires heated up. Let's see. We can get tires. So the top 2 on the medium compound, Jake Marsh on the mediums as well, back there in 11th. Let's see if he can cut through the field quickly. Everyone else, however, on the hards. So let's see what happens here off for the restart. And Lewis will send it back down with green flags all around the racetrack. So they go flying down the main straight with a huge jump, 6/10 lead almost over the rest of the field. You see a lot of 2 wide movement throughout the field, and 3-second time penalty for the Haas. For multiple warnings, but he loops it anyway. That's a self-penalty on its own. But Leroy Vincendo also around. That's 2 Ferrari-powered cars around, and thus the first turn off the restart. Jake Marsh, through all this, is now into 8. So let's see if he can keep moving through the pack. Chloe Glennon having to fight off Daniel Flynn. Once again, Evan Dalton just there behind. Luckily, no DRS for the first 3 laps of green. So let's see what happens here. Any chance of an overtake going down into turn number 10? I don't think so, as it looks like Daniel Flynn thinks better of it. The Vestago Batty right behind Brendan White for second. Rest of the field bunched up. I'm not sure what's going on here. The camera is stuck. Evan Dalton looking to close that gap, and Lewis setting a 1:19.468 on the medium compound, just going quicker. And as you see, the swerving down the straight, trying to break the slipstream, it will be enough because Daniel Flynn's not going to make a move. You saw him try to pull out, but he didn't. Now you have both Ferrari drivers under a blanket right now. Jake Marsh in 6th. He's going to make quick work of Daniel Flynn, it looks like. Looking to the inside into turn number 4. He's going to put it there. Will it work? This is going to put him on the outside into turn number 5. On the outside through 5 down the straight. Still not clear of Daniel Flynn through 6 and up into 7 and 8. This is a scary part to go too wide, and contact's made. The Alpine driver, Daniel Flynn's around. Jake Marsh giving up with time, it seems like, or could be damage. Gonna have to get back around Evan Dalton. I think he was trying to give up the time for that contact, but too much loss for Daniel Flynn as he completely lost it from that bit of contact. Not what you want to see. That could be a penalty post-race. DRS is enabled. Seems like 3 laps did not go by that quickly. There's not really a battle for the 2nd spot. But we have another car around. That is the Haas driver again in the final corner. He's going to cross over and go through the pits. Not sure if that is a legal move. Come to find out post-race. Oh, and he's going to retire the car anyway, so now every driver left is going to be getting points. 10 drivers here. That is amazing work. Outlasting, but hate to see it for the guys that are out of the race. Chloe Glennon with the McLaren and her teammate right behind. Let's see what Jake Marsh does. Down the straight, he's going to try getting around Evan Dalton before he can make a move on Chloe Glennon. Trying to help out a teammate. Hold on, outside move down into 10. And Borboon with the 3-second time penalty. This doesn't matter for the 4th place battle. Jake Marsh right behind Chloe Glennon. I would not be surprised to see Chloe easily let her teammate go and try making a run towards the front once more. There's a battle for 2nd. Vestigobati gets around Brennan White before turn 1. Let's see, Chloe Glennon holding on to 4th. Jake Marsh is going to send it and keep it there with the overtake down into turn number 1. An amazing overtaking spot it seems today. But Evan Dalton's right there as, oh, Chloe Glennon's teammate just driving away. Let's see, Evan Dalton so close. Let's see if Chloe Glennon can hold on to the DRS to stay there. He gets dragged up to the front with the rest of them, but falls too far back. It looked like a little bit of wheel spin off the corner exit of turn 5. So Evan Dalton may have an easy overtake here down the 2nd DRS straight. Out of turn 9, let's see what happens here. Leading up to turn 10, he's not going to make the overtake. Thinking better of that decision. We've seen a few of the overtakes go a little sour, especially with a later move into the apex. See, sitting back here, but Vestigobati just 3.5 behind Lewis. The reserve driver, that has to be a reserve driver. That's all I can think of, because, yeah. So I'm not entirely sure. But I believe McLaren is made up of 2 reserve drivers this week. And they are putting on a show for sure. There's Evan Dalton trying to close that gap on Jake Marsh, but it is nothing that he can close, it seems like. It's just expanding more and more. Here we go, we may have another fight for P2. Vestigobati trying to hold on to it, almost going into the kitty litter out of turn 9. Just holding on to it properly. They're managing the gap on Lewis, however. That could just be because of the medium compounds. It's tough to say. But I think the guys on the hards, guys and girl. Oh! Disco Marks around in turn 10. That was a surprise. Look back there and see the Mercedes around. Well, not typically the day you'd expect for Mercedes. One of them being in 2nd, the other in 10th. Still points nonetheless. And here comes the swaying down the main straight, down into turn 1. Chloe Glennon now outside of the 2nd gap for DRS, so no more DRS for the Irish driver. Let's see, we've got a fight for 7th, possibly, with Borboon and Leroy Van Schendel. Let's see. Down into turn number 5. Leading back up the hill for turn 9. Let's see what the Alfa Romeo driver can make of the Red Bull here. Will it be quick work? Looking to the outside into turn 10. Is it doable? He holds on to it. Let's see. He'll have the inside for turn 12. A little bit of contact it looked like, but gets around. But the Red Bull driver, Borboon, almost looked to the inside right there entering turn 13. Probably wouldn't have been the best decision, luckily backing out of it. But we'll get the DRS down the main straight with Daniel Flynn. who's trying to have a recovery run right now. Driver will run. Remember, he has that 3-second time penalty against him, so he's fighting for whatever he can. But it's hard to say, as the closest two on track are Borboon and Daniel Flynn. Leroy Van Schendel pulling away, and yeah, it looks like, okay, Daniel Flynn is going to get the DRS on Borboon here. Won't be close enough to make a move, and Disco Marks around again in the straight between turns 8 and 9. Oh, that is a slow Ferrari. That is Jake Marsh. Not sure what happened there. Maybe a half spin, maybe a full spin. Not quite sure, but Evan Dalton right there with him once more. We come to lap 22. No, that's lap, yeah, it's lap 21. Okay. But Evan Dalton will get around quickly. Let's see how quick Jake Marsh can respond back. As we've got a pass for P8 almost. It looked like Daniel Flynn made an outside move into turn 1. Didn't work out quite well, and he'll go a little wide. Keeps it in the track limits. Tried looking for an inside move down into 4, but just not quite enough there to do anything about it. And into the grass! He holds on to it. And down through 5, through the straight. Now 6, little squiggly out of there. Well, let's see, Evan Dalton now has to defend from Jake Marsh. The Ferrari driver has been hungry all day after turn 1's fiasco off the start. So let's see, this battle could pull Chloe Glennon and Leroy Van Schendel back up there. I'm not quite sure if it will, though. These two aren't battling as much as you'd presume they would. They're probably not trying to jeopardize each other's race. Jake Marsh gets the DRS down the main straight. But will it be enough to pass Evan Dalton? Just too far back, it seems, to stay there, so... Nevertheless, it looks like Chloe Glennon having to hold off Leroy Van Schendel. He is all over the gearbox of the Ferrari. See what can happen here. You've got the battle for P8. That is Daniel Flynn and Borboon still just defending. It's just an ERS battle, both eating away at the ERS deployment. I guess it's there for a reason. But we're about to see an overtake. Jake Marsh so close to Evan Dalton. There's no way he doesn't make a move down into turn number 10 here. See, he holds back once more. I don't think he was close enough again. See, Chloe Glennon still holding off from Leroy Van Schendel. But Borboon's gonna have to fight off Daniel Flynn. Let's see, Flynn into the green paint. Keeps it behind him. I'm not sure what defending is going on. It's like watching Sergio Perez drive 3 cars right now. Let's see, Jake Marsh gets the run to the inside and will clear Evan Dalton before turn 1 once more. Chloe, however, is going to have Leroy Van Schendel to the inside. A little bit of contact, it looks like, on the curb. Leroy Van Schendel gets around her. And now tries to make his move back towards the 5th place spot. Boone still ahead of Daniel Flynn. I'm not sure if Daniel Flynn's registering. He's got the 3-second time penalty. But obviously you want that spot because maybe you can catch up to everyone else ahead. So it's interesting to see. We've got blue flags somewhere. Oh, that is Brendan White catching up to Disco Mark. We'll keep an eye on the battle for 6th place. So nothing seems to be happening down the DRS straight. It seems like they're just going to stay single file for the time being to try making up as much time as possible. I'm not sure how well that will go. Oh, and Daniel Flynn's out of the session. Not sure. Oh, he retired the car possibly after a spin, maybe contact with Braboon. Not quite sure. I think he was stuck on a curb possibly. But that will retire the Alpine driver, leaving 9 drivers left in this race. It seems to be more of an endurance battle this race than it seems to be anything else. Nevertheless, you have Avesticobatti just trying to get that gap closer to Lewis for the race lead, but I'm not sure how long that will last. Let's get an eye on the tires. 12 laps on mediums to 12 laps on hards. I could see that difference being massive as we start to close in towards the end of this race. I'm not sure if Lewis can make it to the end, but blue flag's still out for Disco Mark. I'm not sure if he's aware of that or not. But Brendan White holding tight in 3rd place. Jake Marsh once again trying to pull away from Evan Dalton, who's almost 2 seconds back, but slowly closing in. Then the 6th place battle. Looks like Chloe Glennon's going to make a move to the inside down into turn number 1. Gets clear of Leroy Vinchendel and drives away through turns 2 and 3. You see these 2 Ferrari powered cars going all out for 6th place, so it's quite a nice battle. As have most of the battles this race. I'm not sure. Daniel Flynn pulling away. Will be coming out of this race with 1 point for Alpine, so not what you expect. However, Ferrari, team that has no constructors points, neither does Mercedes. Those 2 teams with no points on the board after the season opener in Austria have guaranteed points on the board after this race. So nice change of pace for those 2 teams and their drivers. It's going to be interesting to see how that spices things up. However, McLaren leading the constructors, and they will likely pull away with more points as Leroy Vinchendel, the lone Alfa Romeo, who's the team that sits 2nd in the standings. Aston Martin getting no points. That will fall them, or push them back down the order, possibly behind Ferrari. See, it looks like Brendan White has gotten around the lapped Mercedes. But I'm not sure. It looks like Avesticobatti could be closing in that gap just more and more, little by little. And we've got a spin. That is Disco Mark in Sector 3. Not sure if anyone would want is a safety car. That is definitely not something anyone want unless your name's Lewis, because I don't think he wants to try bringing those mediums to the end. Could be in the puncture window by the end of it, and oh lord, the battle for 6th. Kind of go through that, but let's see. Looks like we could get an overtake again. Leroy Vinchendel on the DRS deployment, and Disco Mark with the 3-second time penalty. I think he is. Oh, right. Not sure. Okay, he's going again. However, Leroy Vinchendel to the inside, not able to make it work, but trying to do a crossover move to the outside into turn number 3. Chloe Glennon closes it off, but opens the door back in Oh, wow. Turn 4, the outside move from Leroy Van Schendel puts him on the inside for 5. Chloe Glennon with the outside. A little bit of contact. Still to the outside through 6. Back up into 7, let's see. Room left for both drivers. Just a little bit of contact with the right rear wheel. The Alfa Romeo clears Leroy Van Schendel up the straight. However, neither driver get the DRS. So Chloe Glennon's going to hold on to the 6th spot for just another lap. Interesting to see. Maybe not. Leroy Van Schendel trying that outside move. Little squiggly out of the corner. Down into 13. He files right back in behind Chloe Glennon. This is an amazing, amazing battle for just the 6th place spot. Back to the inside. Let's see what the Alfa Romeo driver has in store. Can't get there in time. Still side by side. Little bit of contact. These two are going at it. See Chloe Glennon just trying all she can to hold back Leroy Van Schendel. Back to the inside into turn number 5. Not going to work, however. Maybe trying a crossover move, still not there. Chloe Glennon's going to hold on to this one, possibly until the DRS zone, just up the hill. Through 7 and 8, and then back up through 9. And the DRS is activated for the Alfa Romeo driver. Does he make a move to the inside? No, he sticks behind. Not sure why he's been one of the few drivers to kind of stay behind through turns 10 and 11. Staying there. Looks like Lewis is pulling away from Avesticobati, however, but that is a lap car. That is a Mercedes up ahead. That is a lap. So could that have some influence on what's going on for the lead? Chloe Glennon's still trying defense. You see, just using all the ERS she can for that spot, just to hold on. And she continues to do so. Amazing effort by both these drivers just to keep it as clean as they are. And no! The commentator's curse, you say, as clean as it is, just that little bit of contact. Leroy Van Schendel saving the car, just that little bit of a half spin. It's going to jeopardize a possible 6th place finish unless he can close that gap back down, which I'm not quite sure is possible this late in the race, but you never know. 2.5 seconds back from the Irish driver. Let's pay back attention to our race leader. What more could you ask out of this race? But this is where things intensify. That leader's gap slowly closing. Just trying all he can to close. Oh, the McLaren driver getting a little loose out of the corner, losing a little bit of time. Not sure what that was about. Quite a bit, about 4 to 5 tenths. Oh no. This could be a huge alter in the race. Oh, the major alter possibly. However, it's still getting the DRS off the Mercedes ahead, so that's just helping the McLaren more than it is the Mercedes driver behind. As you see the marshals post, the electronic marshals as well, flashing blue flags waving all around the track. So not quite sure why he's not getting out of the way, but Chloe Glennon's around. Oh no! Turn 12. now she's going to have to fight Bourboon for 7th. Unless she can catch back up to Leroy Van Schendel, which seems to be a lost cause at this point. Oh no. No, you want to, not what you want to see, but Avestigobati closing that gap even more as they come just 2 laps remaining in the race. 2.5 seconds. Just gotta get 1.5 seconds a lap now. But it seems like it's doable. Let's see. Lewis not passing that. It goes to Mercedes. Oh, he will. He will do that, in fact. Not getting the DRS down this straight. So it's now a 2.2 second gap over Avestigobati, with just 2 laps remaining here in the Spanish Grand Prix. Let's see, 1.8 now, 1.9 flickering between the two. It's going to be close nonetheless. You see Lewis is just sticking with the Disco Marks ghosted car, trying to get the DRS, but not gonna work. It's now a 1.7 gap. I don't think he's gonna be close enough to get it. Let's see, anything can happen. We've seen so many crazy things happen in this race. Bourboon with a 5-second penalty, speeding in the pits. Oh no. But Chloe Glennon will hold on to 7th as long as there's no driver error. Got the McLaren driver, the reserve. Coming to 1 lap remaining in the Spanish Grand Prix. A little squiggly out of the corner. And there you see the Mercedes driver around. That may have gotten his teammate DRS. It has! The huge change right there. That could be massively impactful. Oh my, Avestigobati! 1.3 back now. Closing to 1.2. He's got to be quick. 1.1. Everything has changed right there. Let's see, only 1 second behind the McLaren driver. Everything's got to be perfect, these two, with a flashing red light indicating that they have used up most, if not all, of their ERS deployment. They're under 10%. Within 1 second now, he's going to have the DRS, but I don't think it's going to be enough. No, he's not. Oh, no, he is. He's going to have the DRS up, down the straight. But he's too far back to capitalize off of anything. 9/10, only if there was one more lap for these two. But that's it. Unless there's a driver error here from Lewis, there's nothing that Avestigobati could do. A 1 second gap. That closed rapidly through the final corners. And to win round 2, Lewis is going to do it, winning round 2 of FVRA competition for the Spanish Grand Prix. Avestigobati, who looped it in the final corner there, is going to finish 2nd. It looks like Brendan White, if he can get through these final few corners perfectly, this is going to come home on the last step of the podium. A podium nonetheless. Great points day for him. Jake Marsh with an amazing comeback. Not the race he wanted, though, after that lap 1 incident, taking him home in 4th. Evan Dalton 5th. Leroy Van Schendel, just a few more corners remaining before he takes home 6th place. Crossing the line and doing so now, then Chloe Glennon, not too far behind, going through the chicane, then through 16 to take home 7th place. Good points day for Ferrari after not getting any points in the Austrian Grand Prix. Just not the day either of them wanted based on the speed they had. Then Bourboon's gonna take it home in 8th for Red Bull. You have Disco Mark finishing in 9th. Daniel Flynn 10th. Rounding out the points. Game awards Lewis with Driver of the Day, well deserved nonetheless. After After leading almost every lap of it and making those mediums go to the end, that's an amazing job by the McLaren driver, as McLaren will likely pull away even more with their constructors' lead. Here you can see the podium celebration. Now for that podium celebration to go over the remaining drivers from 11th on back once we get off the screen. Nonetheless, a great points day from McLaren. I'm not sure it will pull up the screen. Oh, here we go. Oh, and we can hear it. Oh, no, we're not going to see anything. But thank you all for joining me. I'm Jake Scarborough. This was Formula Virtual Racing Academy competition, round 2 for season 7, the Spanish Grand Prix. Congratulations to our race winner, Lewis. And I will see you guys next week. So long, and take care.